it's Shannon from Creative Chaos in Tennessee, and I know I'm behind once again, but I have lots of layouts to show you. I think I'm one day behind now because y'all will see this on Wednesday, and so I'll be one day behind. I am going to combine this with lots of things. So first off, 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, Series 19. I have been working my way through those sketches. And then I am also doing this journaling challenge. So these are pinned over on my Facebook group in the featured section. I'm not going to try to keep up for each layout and tell y'all which ones I used because this is getting a little hard. As in just because some of these, like someone you admire, a friend who's always been there for you, a friend who makes an ordinary day memorable. I could make every one of those about the same friend that I have that I already did a layout about. So I don't really want to combine them because I want to do a bunch of prompts and journal about different things this month. But so these were some of the other ones that I mentioned to you guys. There's a bunch of different ones, but these ones are finish the sentences with positive thoughts. This one's introspection, which I did do a few of them. Qualities you have that you're proud of, activities that make you happy. So anyways, these are pinned over in my Facebook group. And then I'm also combining these with How to Kill a Kit with Style and Striptease, the scrapbook way. This month's prompt was to create a photo mat of 10 or more border strips. So I did that. I'm also going to be combining, I'm just going to tell you all of these up front because I'm not going to remember probably whenever I get to them. But I'm also combining Mixed Media Mayhem, Iron Crafter, which this month's prompt was to use metal embellishments. Mixed Media Mayhem was to use texture paste, leftover alpha thickers, and crayons or gelatos. I'm also combining this with my DIY embellishment. So if you leave a comment on this video, there will be a giveaway and you will be entered to win at the end of the month. Mad About Mini Paper Pads, where we use our mini paper pads to create a layout. Shake It, Scrap It, Create It, which is week 42. Washi Lavender and Inking was this week's prompts. And 52 weeks of favorite photos. So I think that's all I'm combining. So let me show you guys. So first up is day 15. And this one was the Striptease layout created by Mandy Bayer. So I went a little off. But y'all know I tend to do that anyways. Okay, let me move my layouts. So here is day 15. It is a 2-pager. And y'all know that I have been journaling. So this one I ended up doing, this one was activities that make you happy. So I put, these are a few of my favorite things. And then photography, gardening, my grandgirls, crafting, snacks, and tacos. Because everybody has to love tacos, right? Or we just can't be friends. So my journaling says, a few of my favorite things make life a little sweeter and more colorful. I love photography, capturing those fleeting moments in time that tell a story and preserve memories forever. Gardening brings me so much joy. There's nothing more rewarding than watching tiny seeds grow into beautiful flowers and fresh vegetables. My grandgirls hold a special place in my heart. Being a mom is wonderful, but spending time with them, watching them grow and spoiling them is pure happiness. Scrapbooking and crafting are my therapy, my happy place where I can create and unwind. And let's not forget tacos, because honestly, if you don't love tacos, we just can't be friends. To top it all off, I have a sweet spot for snacks, especially Hershey's chocolate and Raisinets. Simple little joys that make every day better. So that's that layout for day 15. And then next step is day 16. And this is the sketch by Jessica Michaels. And I absolutely love this sketch. Mine turned out a lot more busy. It always does. I love the white, but it never happens that way. So, I did my journaling by hand on this one. ChatGPT, I did still have ChatGPT to help me and write it for me, but then I wrote it out because this one is about my English teachers. This was my English teacher in 8th grade, 9th grade, and I absolutely love these ladies. They're both retired now. And then I was able to use these little school shaker stickers I had. I didn't know how I was going to use them because they're kind of teacher themed, like world's best teacher, number one teacher, A+ teacher, which I guess you could use if you had pictures of your kids with their teachers, but I felt like these worked out really good. So my journaling goes around like this, and it just keeps going around. And so it says, my 8th grade teacher, Miss Marler, and my 9th grade English teacher, Miss Martin, were two of the most inspiring teachers I ever had. Both of them had a true passion for teaching and an even greater love for their students. They weren't just about grammar and essays. They taught lessons about life, kindness, and believing in yourself. Their encouragement helped shape who I am today, always reminding me that learning can be both meaningful and fun. Whether it was through their creative assignments or their genuine care for each student, they made the classroom a place where I felt seen, supported, and motivated to do my best. Though they are both retired now, their influence continues to inspire me every day. They made the oh, that's the end. And then it goes back around. So I'm trying to read upside down and sideways and all that. But I thought this was fun, and I did sew a ribbon. I had little pieces of my, oh, I didn't show y'all good. But here was my weaved, made into a photo mat strips. And then I cut them off. And that's what I added over here for these little banners underneath, was just the extras I cut off of that. And I sewed them together so that they wouldn't go anywhere. And then that's what I had extra, so I ended up using them on this layout. I did my mixed media. This one's the one for, oh, this one wasn't mixed media, Mayhem. But this one, I ended up sewing and then added all these little pieces so that I could use them up. So that one's day 16. So next up is day 17, and this is our sketch, and it is by chicksgonecrafty.com. So this one was Mixed Media Mayhem, which was used texture paste, leftover alpha thickers, and crayons or gelatos. And then Iron Crafter used metal. So this is my layout that I ended up creating. And it didn't quite turn out the way I planned it to do. But it says what I learned from being a mom. I used lots of stickers on here. This is my medal, and this is my medal. I know. Sorry, Tara, if you're watching. I kind of fell short, but like I said, I've been sick. I've still been recovering. And life in general is just kicking my butt. It's just been a lot, y'all. So, anyways, I did all my mixed media. I used a stencil and my, my mixed media, I think they're called mixed media sticks or something like that, which is kind of like the crayons, I guess. I have pictures of all 4 of my children. And then my journaling says, becoming a mom at 15 taught me more than I ever could have imagined. I learned early on that I'm capable of doing far more than I ever thought possible, and that I could stretch myself in ways I never knew I could. Growing up alongside my children helped me mature and see life differently. I learned patience, responsibility, and how to love unconditionally. I also learned a lot about mistakes because I made plenty of them just from being so young and not knowing better. But those mistakes helped me grow, learn, and become a stronger, more understanding person and mom. Motherhood taught me forgiveness, resilience, and the importance of cherishing every moment, even the hard ones. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up, giving your best, and loving with your whole heart every single day. So this one was the prompt of who helped you learn a lot about yourself. So that was this one. Okay, and that's that. And then next up, this one's the Saturday DIY embellishment. So I ended up making a Christmas layout, which I did not plan because it's too early. But anyways, I used printables by Shabby Art Boutique, and this was our sketch. I know it's hard to see, but I also did not write on here who it was by, so I apologize. But you can find out over on the 30 Days of Sketches group on Facebook. So this one's day 18, and it's also made about mini paper pads. I did use a mini paper pad, and I ended up cutting strips, and then I had to glue them together to make them long enough because I used a 6x8 paper pad. But this one is of my Aunt Crystal. So my journaling says, my Aunt Crystal was more like a sister to me than an aunt. We went through so many of the same challenges in life, and no matter what, she always believed in me and encouraged me to keep going. She had a kind heart and was always good to me, and I tried to be there for her just the same. She absolutely loved Christmas. It was her favorite time of year. But I know she missed her mom and sisters terribly, especially during the holidays. Despite suffering multiple heart attacks and strokes, she still pushed through with strength and determination that amazed me. Her sudden passing left a huge hole in my heart, and she is missed deeply every single day. So, that is not a good picture of us, but it's the only one I could find of me and her together because my eyes are closed. It's a really old picture, but it's still my memories, and I'm glad that I can document it. So, my giveaway, since I ended up doing Christmas for this layout, I did not plan that. The paper pad that I used was not Christmas themed. I was trying to see if I had it lay in here. Oh, here we go. So I ended up using this Moonlight Magic kit or paper. I got this one at Ollie's for $2. So I just pulled some stuff out of it and started out with what I wanted to use this paper because I loved it, and then it somehow turned into Christmas, and y'all know it's like a rabbit hole, you know. So anyways, my giveaway for today is your own little embellishment pack of all these little printouts plus a lot more, and I also cut out the title, Believe. This one was for the journaling prompt, someone who always believed in you. So that's what I did this one for. And let's see. Okay. So next up is this sketch. And it's also Shake It, Scrap It, Create It. The prompts were washi tape, lavender, and inking. And this one is by Amanda Leckie at Leckie Creates. And she does have a YouTube channel. And this is my layout. And I got going on it and realized, okay, I forgot to ink. I did end up inking my tag. I did use washi, but lavender was stretching it a little bit. There was a little bit in this paper, like in the little zip strips I used. And I was like, you know what? There's lavender right there in my actual picture. So this one is, I apologize for the glare. This one is my layout, and it's about my hometown. I did a little bit of journaling on each picture. So this one says, our historic downtown. They roll up the sidewalk come dark. Y'all know the expression, they roll up the sidewalk in such small towns. Literally everything shuts down and that's it. Like at 5 o'clock, it's done down there. Golden Eagles Friday night football. The Tennessee River, so beautiful and such an awesome place to pass time. And then the historic Ray County Courthouse where the Scopes trial was held. So then, and then it says hometown stories. So then I actually journaled my stuff out and put it on this tag that can be pulled out. And I left it out a little bit so that you can see, so that, you know, people will know to pull it out. But it says, my small hometown of Dayton, Tennessee may be little, but it's full of history and beauty. It's known for the famous Scopes monkey trial that took place at the historic courthouse and is also part of the Trail of Tears, giving our town deep roots in American history. Surrounded by the river and the mountains, it's easy to take the stunning scenery for granted, but I'm always thankful to live in such a gorgeous place that God created. Friday nights are for Golden Eagle football, when the whole town packs the stadium and cheers loud. It's truly a rite of passage around here. Our quaint downtown may shut down early and turn into a ghost town by night, but that's part of its small town charm. Growing up, weekends were filled with skating at Crystal Springs, fishing at the river, camping at Jackson Island, swimming at Pocket Wilderness, and going to church. I love my hometown and feel so blessed to have raised my family here. I never want to live anywhere else. After all, I'm just a small town girl. So that's my journaling for that one. And that one, Shake It, Scrap It, Create It. So I do need to shake for next week's prompts. So let's start out with shapes, colors, and numbers. So we got the color lime green, techniques and tools. If you've never played along with this, you can just use the prompts in any way you want. If you don't have something, you can substitute. Paper tearing is our technique. You can come over on the Facebook group and add your photo of your project. Does it have to be a layout and embellishments? And you can be entered to win Happy Mail. We're going to have to refill this one after next week. Flowers, yay! So the color lime, paper tearing, and flowers are our prompts for next week. It normally posts every Sunday. I'm clearly behind. So forgive me, I'm going to try to get back on track. Let's see. And then this one is this sketch. And this one is day 20. And it's also 52 weeks of favorite photos hosted by Miranda Weber on My Scrappy Life. And this sketch is by Kim Moore Designs. And I only did one page. And this is what I ended up doing. I used some of my coveted basic gray paper on here. And then I used some printables from Shabby Art Boutique. So it says, thankful to simply enjoy these moments. And I put, I am blessed to have this beautiful family, a roof over my head, and food on the table. I pray that I never stop being thankful for all the blessings God has given me, big and small. So I thought that was kind of fitting since it's fall. It's that season of thankfulness. So that one was that. This is an old picture. Vivian wasn't even a year old yet, but she's 3 already. But either way, that's that page. And then we have this one. And this is a sketch by Jacqueline Hart, or maybe it's Jacqueline heart at Jack's Scraps. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm going to throw in a disclaimer here for this video, or for this layout. If you are sensitive to, like if it bothers you to hear about suicide or depression or anything like that, you might just want to cut it off now. This is a layout that I did that is part of my testimony, and it's okay if that bothers you. It won't hurt my feelings for you to turn it off. But I've been trying to think of things that I want to journal about and that are meaningful, that needs to have the story told. And like I said, some of these prompts over here is kind of, they're becoming hard, but I have lots of ideas in my own mind of things I want to journal about, and this is one of them. I don't tell this story enough, and I want it to be there so that my kids and grandkids and anyone else who finds this page, and I pray that they find it at a time when they need it. But the title, of course, is A Journey to Being an Overcomer. And someone sent me these stamped out Bible verses, and so I added them to my page. But it says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthen me. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee." So, for my journaling, I thought I was going to do a little journaling thing this big. And once I actually wrote it all out, shrunk it down, it actually was a whole full page. So, bear with me, it's a little bit long. But I did it like this so that it could be covered, but it can be opened and it can be read. So, I'll read it to you guys. It says, "Growing up for me was not easy. I always struggled to fit in, whether it was because of my situation, or my weight, or my red hair, or many other things. I had friends, really good friends, but I always felt like the outcast of the group. I grew up in some pretty bad living situations and struggled with depression as long as I can remember, but I had wonderful grandparents and was introduced to Jesus early in life. No matter how much I loved going to church and finally feeling like I was good at something and found a place that I belonged, I became a teenager. And as a teenager, I was looking for love in all the wrong places, as the song goes. So, I don't think it was a shock when I wound up pregnant at 15 and then got married. I was young and no one could talk me down out of the clouds. I was head over heels. Fast forward to being a wife and a mom and still trying to go to high school, and my new husband was trying to work, and we were trying to care for a new baby because we had no one to help us and had no idea what we were doing. Life was extremely hard and disheartening when real life set in, along with the depression in a really bad way. I was happy being a mom and wife. It was all I had ever wanted, and I had a wonderful husband who would do absolutely anything for me. Fast forward a year into married life, and my grandpa passed away. He had been my dad my whole life. I was devastated, and life just felt so much harder. Fast forward 9 years and several kids later, and I got divorced, and it was utterly devastating, and I was miserable. The depression was overwhelming, and I felt like there was no hope. I felt like I was in a dark hole and all alone, had no one, and could not climb out. I even attempted to take my own life several times, just trying to be out of the pain. Fast forward several years, and I got remarried, and I had 2 more babies. But the depression was an ever constant in my life that I just couldn't shake. Some days were fabulous and I was happy, and other days were so bad that I could not even get out of bed. I felt terrible about myself because I couldn't even be a good mom or wife with this dark cloud hanging over my head. Then my grandma passed away, and she raised me, so it was like losing one of the biggest parts of myself. I spiraled even further. After Grandma had been gone probably less than a year, I realized that I really needed to get my crap together, get back in church, and rely on my faith in God to get me through, because so far giving in to the darkness had not improved anything, but only made it worse, and I was making everyone else around me miserable too. So me and Michael was at church one Wednesday night when the pastor asked for prayer requests, and it had been a bad day. I had been crying all day, had no idea why. I was just so sad, and the tears would not stop. So Michael raised his hand and asked if everyone would be praying for me, that I was just having a bad day. I went into church crying, cried through the whole service, through all the singing. Again, no idea why. So the pastor prayed over all the prayer requests and proceeded with his sermon. I don't even remember what it was about. And halfway through the sermon, he got off track and said, I don't know who needs to hear this, but depression, anxiety, anger, and fear is not of God. He then looked directly at me and said, I'm going to say this again, Shannon. Depression, anxiety, anger, and fear are not of God. Well, of course that done it. Being called out, which he never did, just made the tears flow even more. I never understood what happened that night until a few weeks later, when I realized that I had not been depressed. I had not had any suicidal thoughts. I had actually begun to feel like I was seeing some light, and that is when I realized that God delivered me from my depression that I had struggled with my whole life. So, the moral of the story is, if you are reading this and you are struggling and you feel like you are alone and that you are in a deep hole with no way out, just remember, God takes nobodies and makes them somebodies, and that you too can be an overcomer. I don't know how many times I prayed not to be the way I was, and God did not take it away, but it was not in my time, but His. So I just want to say that I love you, and you matter, and don't ever think otherwise. And most of all, that Jesus loves you, and He died for you to live free and not under the shadow of darkness. The enemy will tell you lies. Don't believe them. Greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. So, okay, that's emotional. I wanted to say thank you guys for hanging out with me, for watching my channel, for joining me this month, for all my journaling. I know some of it's got a little deep. And so I hope y'all are sticking in there. I hope it inspires you guys to really just dig deep and document those stories for your family and for future generations. Even if they're not faith-based, you know, that's my hope, that my kids or my grandkids or, you know, my great-great-grandkids will find them someday and just when they need them most and be encouraged. Because it is easy to feel like you're alone and you're the only one going through something, and the devil will lie to you and say, nobody cares. You're in this alone. Nobody else has ever went through this. There's something wrong with you. None of that is true. None of it. So, like I said, I love you guys. And if you're struggling, you are not alone. And there is hope, and it's called Jesus. So, these are pictures that I found of me on my Facebook going back. This one was when I was miserable, and I mean, you can see it on my face. Just even, I can look back through my pictures, even how I stood, how I presented myself, like I was just miserable. And this is after God delivered me of depression. And I wish I was still this skinny, but sad to say, with all the health stuff, I've gained weight back. But I love this picture of me because I truly was happy and I felt so free whenever that picture was took. It was actually took on Lookout Mountain at Rock City, if you've ever heard of Rock City. But that is my stories. I'm hoping to be caught up. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, I would love to have you. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you liked it and it inspired you. And until next time, bye y'all.